good afternoon, and welcome to the garden. Welcome to Garden Conversations with Rose. It's Sunday, this 22nd day of August 2021. My, the year is going by rather quickly. And so once August would have gone by, we will be entering the final third of 2021. September comes around. And within the next 4 months, December will be here, and of course, 2022. How has it been for you in your relationships, within your interactions, or even at your workplace? Have you felt as if you were able to communicate well? Communication was on point? Did you feel as if you were receiving the right support that you needed? Were you able to extend yourself and grow mentally or emotionally or otherwise? How has it been for you? Those of us who are mothers understand the value of our womb when we are pregnant. We know that our womb has to be in prime condition in order to help our unborn fetus. So we know that within our womb, our amniotic sac can't afford to be leaking or not in order, because if that happens, our fetus will be in problems. We also know that we must be able to afford the right nutrients, and they must be available so that the unborn child can grow and develop. There must also be enough space, the right conditions for that fetus as it stretches around, as the limbs begin to develop and elongate, and all the right conditions for the child or the fetus to thrive. We are also aware that once 9 months has come, we are expecting birth. No one likes to know that she has gone way past her due date. It would indicate that something is wrong and the fetus needs to be out, that child needs to be out of that womb. Some time ago, I wrote a poem entitled The Womb Mourns, where I alluded to the types of interactions and relationships and even workplaces that we had to be a part of. And the womb was mourning because it felt as if the 9-month period had gone by and the babe was still in the womb. It had also been mourning because the conditions weren't right and everything was just so out of order. I also wrote another poem recently entitled Avorté or Aborted, where once again I alluded to the untimely expulsion of either goals, dreams, aspirations, individuals, relationships from our lives, either because we ourselves had inflicted the damage or they were externally agitated. And we felt so badly because of an avorté. And we were asked, at least I asked whether or not the avorté or the abortion had propelled us forward to mobility or had kept us in a very depressed state. Yesterday, I sat down and wrote another poem about the womb. However, the womb wasn't mourning this time. The womb wasn't sad because of what was happening within her. The womb in this case was the perpetrator. The womb was the evil thing that was causing all the problem. And the poem is entitled The Womb, That Putrid Place. And once again, the idea of situations in the womb were brought to the fore. So of course we know, as I earlier said, that nutrients are important for growth and development. So if in our interactions and within our relationships or in our workplaces, we don't have the right nutrients, we aren't able to grow. And I'm not talking about our nutrients via our food. I am talking about the nutrient of communication. Communication is vital within interactions, relationships, and even at workplaces. So when there is no communication in a workplace, persons are simply handed down things. In a relationship, if there is no communication, one never knows what obtains within your interactions. You don't know where you're headed. If there is little communication, it means that there is a lot of inconsistency in the way things are said or aren't said. And if it is very poor, it means that many times there is a lack of clarity. We also know that within a home, there must also be the right amount of space. The amniotic sac has to be in such a way that the babe, once he or she begins to move around, begins to elongate and stretch around, that conditions must be right. So within, again, our own relationships, our interactions, and our workspaces, our workplaces, if that is lacking, that's a problem. So if there's a crowding where there is a lot of micromanagement that is within our workspaces, within our interactions, there is a lot of shutting down and dismissive behavior, and our concerns aren't really looked at. That's an issue. We also know that within a womb as well, there can't be leakage, there can't be seepage, because once again the fetus will be compromised. So again, I am saying to you that within our interactions and relationships, there can't be leakage and seepage. So there cannot be lack of support. Can't feel as if you don't matter. That's important in order for growth to occur. Because if all those things are absent, what will eventually happen is that there will begin to be a deterioration. So if the amniotic sac within me had begun to seep and leak, and it wasn't time for my child to be born, you know, there would be an avorté, or an abortion. As an abortion, something that mothers never like. And eventually, it will come to the fore, bringing a lot of heartache. What is your relationship? What is your interaction? How's it at your workplace? I'd just like you to have a good listen at the poem that I wrote, The Womb, That Putrid Place. Have a good listen. He's planted, he's settled, he's eager to thrive. His little limbs are spreading, and his eyes are open wide. But there's something wrong within, 'cause no one, the fetus, is feeding. The nutrients aren't there. Where have they gone? What has happened to them? He wants to move. He wants to grow. His tiny heart is beating strong. His lungs are heaving, you know. But there's a tightening in the space. So the fetus's breath are at a weakening pace. There's a lot of crowding going on. There is no room for growth and development. That womb is a putrid place for all the fetus. He's still reaching. He's still trying some way to gain. His conscious brain feels the strain, and oh, there is so much pain. For the way things are looking, the fetus is in danger of not emerging. So we see what's happening here. That fetus our interaction, our relationship, the workspace is causing so much problem that persons are going to feel as if they're unmotivated, there's lack of zeal and zest. They will simply move around with robot-like movements, not even feeling anything. He's tired, he's hurting, his energy, it's waning. His lifeblood is in danger because of all of that hunger. Because in this womb, this putrid place, the fetus's life has been sucked with cruel haste. And we all know what happens, because once within our relationships, within our interactions, and even our workspaces, if that expulsion occurs, persons tend to retreat into themselves. They leave with an emotional departure. And I guarantee you that a physical departure has nothing on an emotional departure. Because when the departure is physical, at least one knows it's gone. The avorté, the abortion has gone on, it has left. But if that avorté, if that expulsion, that abortion is an emotional one, the pain is even worse. There's nothing worse than when someone is there and yet they aren't there. Emotionally, they have locked off. They have left the place while being present. I urge you, as we go on into the month of September, the final third, and we think of decisions that we need to make, think about the status of that putrid place, whether or not it's providing the right condition for thriving, development, and indeed growth.